So then the most difficult part here is relating to that third answer, which is what is too much. So that's a value judgment, which means that someone is making a negative judgment. Okay, so if we were to say you drink too much coffee, or there is too much salt here, that means it's a bad thing. Okay, but who decides? How do we know once too much becomes too much, i.e., it becomes bad? So, for instance, let's say the Capitol riot. Let's say in the US when Donald Trump, a lot of people think Donald Trump provoked that riot and the attack on the Congress building. Well, fine. Most people would say that that's a bad thing, those violent riots. But if you like riots, then it's not a bad thing. So for the people involved, that wasn't too much. For a lot of people, it was, but not for them. So you've got to be really careful in your essays that if you say there's too much democracy in this example, you've got to say for whom, okay, and why. You can't simply say, well, it's too much because look at this event, the Capitol riot. You've got to say, well, that event was bad because lots of people could have got hurt, and most of us would agree that people getting hurt is a bad thing that we don't really want in our societies. Then we're going to have to go through this quite quickly because we're running out of time, but it's fine because we're coming back to a lot of these themes later on in our lectures. Why are they asking this now? So rise of populism, rise of referenda, increase in partisanship or division or factions in society. And then I've spoken about this as an example, the US Capitol riot or attack. We're obviously a couple of years on from this now, but it's a good example of the kind of thing that the examiners might be thinking about. But then there's a fifth thing, which is democratization, which means when countries are sort of becoming democracies, want to become democracies, or are forced by Western powers sometimes to become democracies, when Western powers get rid of leaders in certain countries, like the Taliban in Afghanistan. Then they try and sort of say, and a lot of scholars are interested in whether that's a bad thing for countries to be kind of given democracy. Some people say some countries aren't ready for it for reasons that we'll talk about.